Hi, this is Kaushik from Raw Advocate. Welcome to the episode 1 of The Spirit of Riding.
I'm Abhinav. I'm also a designer from Raw Rugged. I'll also be answering some questions for you today.
What is riding?
I think riding is very personal, right? It's a very subjective matter. It's personal to whoever is riding. Everyone has their own necessities, their own needs. It is tailor-made for that particular person. Riding is an opportunity. It helps me meet new people, experience new things. Honestly, every 100 kilometers you travel in this country, you're definitely going to face new cultures. So it lets me experience and live life to the fullest. In that sense, there's a lot I owe to driving and, riding motorcycles.
So, what is it like to have a community of riders?
Like I said earlier as well, to be in a community of riders, it's an experience. You get to experience each person differently, and it's a sense of brotherhood. You sit on the bike, you feel badass, and you're with your guys, you're with the boys, feeling life. That is how it feels. It's basically a sense of identity for us. Yeah, that is the thing. Most people often confuse themselves. We ask the bigger questions on who we are, what do we do. I think for us it's pretty simple. We just ride, we experience, we live life.
So, what is it like being in a community of riders?
Well, there is a sense of brotherhood involved in that. You would never let each other down, and you know that they've got your back. That is what being in a community in general means. And being in a community of riders, well, that's something one needs to experience in their life at least once. Well, I don't want to talk about this right away by myself. I would like to call Kaushik to come here. He's my co-designer, and we're going to be talking about this. Welcome, Kaushik. How are you feeling again?
Great. What's up?
Well, I'm great. So we were talking about the patches, and we were talking about identity, right? So what are these patches? Why did we design them?
As we were talking about how riding is a subjective thing and everybody have their own definitions of riding and how does it feel, and we also spoke about the identity and the character of the biker.
Each person has their own distinct identity, and that is what the patches represent. The patches are a visual amalgamation of how you feel when you're riding and the identity that you're trying to create for yourself.
So in United States, when there were a lot of biker gangs, 99% of them were law-abiding, and the 1% people, the outlaws, they call themselves the baddest of baddest. So they were called the 1%ers.
But you might be wondering, if they're outlaws and if they're baddest of the bad, why are we making patches about the 1%ers? Well, it is simply because they had started the history of riding. They were the earliest proper riding groups. They had established the sense of brotherhood, responsibility, and the feeling of riding for a purpose and not just to be empty. That is the whole reason why we designed the 1%er patch. And most importantly, like we had mentioned that they were criminal gangs, it was also a story of redemption for them. These were biker gangs who had later on,
Changed themselves into better people.
Exactly.
For
They
the
had
good
changed
for society.
themselves. They had become better people for the better of society. Once people who used to wreak mayhem, then they had started helping and giving back to society, something like what we were trying to do. Well, we had spoken about the 1%er batches, and
We got a few more for you.
Well, we've got few more for you, obviously. We're not going to just give you a jacket with one patch. Talking about history brings me back to this patch. The simple and cool is old school. Old school is classy. We all can agree that old things are antique, they look classy, exactly like leather products. They're generational, you pass them down from your grandfather, father, you. It's a classy product, and that is why we tend to modern classic motorcycles as well.
And when you say classic, what does it remind you more than modern classics?
The first thing when someone in India at least can think of about a bike, the first thing you'll come up with is a Bullet, which is a modern classic motorcycle.
So we're gonna talk about our third patch, which is Everest 8K.
Well, this patch is dedicated to the 8,000 years. There are 12 mountains in the Himalayas that are above 8,000 feet high, and this is dedicated to them. For the Himalayas are a place of worship for us riders. It's like our Mecca, and this is just something that we want to show that we respect that place, and this place means a lot to us. This is where most riders start from.
Here we are at the fourth patch, which is called Nomad. And what is a nomad?
It's not about what or who is a nomad, it's about how a nomad feels. A nomad is a person who's always open. He or she is open to trying new things, not sticking to one place. He embraces change. And that is what us as humans need to, not just as riders, us as humans need to know. And it's like what Stephen Hawking once said, the greatest intelligence is just the ability to adapt and the ability to change.
So I guess yeah, that's it for today.
Well, yeah, that's about it. These are the 4 patches that we had designed for our jacket. We will see you again in episode 2 where we show you the next step of how it is like to make the perfect leather jacket. Take care. See
Until
you.
then,
Ride safe.
Bye bye.